They brought my brother back with a rope around his hands and blood on his shirt. He didn't say a word, just stared at the sand like it was going to swallow him. That was the day I knew something inside him had died. My name is Aliyu. I'm Fulani. I come from a small village not too far from Maiduguri, in Borno state. We live near the forest line. We are not city people. My people move with cattle. We depend on the bush and the weather. We listen more than we talk. I grew up with my older brother, Musa. He was louder than me, stronger too. He was the kind of boy who could charm the old women and wrestle the wild boys. But he also had a temper. If he felt something was wrong, he'd speak, even if no one wanted to hear. Back then, things were not easy, but they made sense. We would follow our father and the older men deep into the bush, where we grazed our cattle and built small camps. We'd return every few weeks to the main village. At night, by the fire, we heard stories from the elders. Some were folk tales about spirits in the trees, or talking hyenas. But sometimes, they told real stories about the time the Kanuri and Fulani fought together, or when the drought made people eat wild roots for weeks. Musa always asked questions. He didn't like how the elders avoided talking about the tension between the soldiers and the herders. Even then, he saw something was not right. It started slowly. Cattle started disappearing. Sometimes whole herds. People blamed bandits. Others blamed soldiers. No one could say for sure, but fear grew. Then one of the village boys, Danlami, was found tied to a tree. He had been beaten so badly that his mouth was swollen shut. Some said he was accused of spying. Others said he had joined them, Boko Haram. Nobody knew. Nobody wanted to know. We buried him without asking too many questions. After that, things began to fall apart. We stopped sleeping outside. No more singing in the night. The women stopped fetching water in groups and started going one by one, fast, without talking. People became quiet. Then one night, there were gunshots in the bush. Everyone ran inside. In the morning, our cattle returned without the boys who took them. We found one body by the river. I remember my father just sitting on a rock and staring at the ground. He didn't say anything. Musa got more restless. He started disappearing for hours, sometimes days. I'd ask him where he went. He'd say, "To think," but his eyes told me there was more. He spent a lot of time with a man called Malam Idris, who came to the village a few months earlier. Malam Idris wasn't from our village. He said he was Fulani, from Adamawa, but his tongue was sharp. He knew things about politics, history, injustice. He told stories not like the elders, but like someone angry. He talked about how the Fulani were hated everywhere, how the government used us, but never cared about us. Some people liked him, others warned us, but Musa listened more than anyone. I didn't like the way he changed. He stopped laughing. He started talking about purity and justice. One night, I heard him and Malam Idris arguing. I hid outside the hut. "I'm not sure I can do that," Musa said. "You already agreed," Malam Idris said. "Or are you still a coward like your father?" I didn't know what they were talking about, but I knew it was bad. That was the last time I saw him before he disappeared. He left without telling anyone, took only his small bag and his knife. We searched the nearby bush, asked people in other villages. Nothing. For 3 weeks, we heard nothing. Then one morning, a military truck came into the village. They were shouting in Hausa, guns ready. They dragged a man from the back and threw him on the ground. It was Musa. His face was swollen. His shirt was soaked with blood. The soldiers said he had been caught with a group of men in the forest, near the Damboa road. They were carrying wires and metal parts. One of the men had a small black book with Arabic writing. The soldier said Musa confessed, said he was part of a group that planned to attack a checkpoint. They said he begged for his life. I didn't believe them, but when I looked at Musa, he didn't deny it. He just looked away. That night, I sat beside him. He was tied to a stick, with 2 soldiers watching. I begged them to let me talk. He looked so thin, so different. I asked, "Why did you do it?" He didn't answer at first. Then he whispered, "They promised peace, Aliyu." "Who?" I asked. "The ones in the bush. Malam Idris. Others." They said if we joined them, we'd stop being hunted. They said the Fulani would finally have their voice. I didn't know what to say. He said, "Do you know what it feels like to always be blamed? To walk into a town and see people look at you like you're an animal? To have soldiers chase you like you're already guilty?" I said, "But you were with people planting bombs." He closed his eyes. "I didn't plant anything. I just stood there. But I was with them, so it didn't matter." The next morning, they took him away. They didn't say where. They never brought him back. Some say he was taken to Giwa barracks. Others say he was executed in the bush. No one tells the truth anymore. 3 years have passed. My father still refuses to speak Musa's name. My mother prays for him every night. Me? I wait. Sometimes I go to the edge of the bush and listen. I think of the stories we used to hear of spirits taking people and turning them into something else. Maybe that's what happened to Musa. Maybe the bush turned him into a shadow. Or maybe the world just broke him, little by little, until there was nothing left to hold on to.
Good day, everyone. My name is Joy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, share. Thank you as you do. So,